progress. Okay, here we are. Aye.
We're live. Hello, everyone.
Dear God. Okay. What's up, guys?
To the
Zerilath
show.
here.
And there are going to be two of me, and one of me is going in and out of phase.
But when are you not going in and out of phase, Sean?
That's weird.
Sometimes not here at all.
Yeah.
No
We all
reason
know.
or rhyme to it.
Yeah, he's turning into the fair folk himself, so he'll be bigfooting around. Oh my gosh. So, Yssah, Sean, welcome back. It's you guys were just here. My people here, you guys know about Yssah and Sean now from basically like last week. And when I had originally booked the two of you guys on, you hadn't revealed or had done, I'm not sure which, your little expedition. I was looking at that before I had you on. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not prepared to talk about any of this because I didn't even know you were doing such a thing. And so I had to think about that in my conversation with Yssah in particular, and I said I got to have you back so we can be a little bit more focused on this because we were here to talk about the science side I know about you, and so now I'm having you back because just recently you released footage. I'm assuming did you release that footage right after, or did you do that footage like a few weeks ago and then put it out, or what was up with the timing on that?
Well, we went on a weekend, so like however many days, I think we released stuff into the weekday after we like kind of grounded ourselves from being out of body from it.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes, it was, how everything happened, it was as a surprise. You know, like when we were called to go to Tula, we didn't know what we were going to. We just knew that we were going to run into some artifacts, not the how that would happen. You know, so when they told us that we would be participating in digging up those artifacts, that was such fantastic. Those were fantastic news. You know, we were very excited.
A very good surprise.
Yeah.
But I mean, I did a lot of digging. I did not have digging clothes and I didn't have gloves, so I was just like fried afterwards. My hands just.
Who was it that surprised you with this dig?
Our friend. That we don't know how much they want to go public, so we're going to be careful.
Sure.
With that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Was that the gentleman I saw you having a conversation with? He had his own side of the finds and things like that. How big was your crew on this excavation? Anybody on YouTube who doesn't know what I'm talking about yet, I'll just explain in a minute, because they found basically a bunch of artifacts that were buried in the jungle with depictions of Egyptian like stuff, UFO stuff, gray alien stuff, and has that remarkable resemblance to the ant people too. So it fits in your paranormal niche, whatever your theories about the artifacts are.
Yes.
So
well,
yeah.
Well, we were around 10 people. No, 8. Let's say 8, including my daughter. And another kid, which was awesome. She participated in the digging. Actually, Sean has shown a video of her.
Yeah. I can show the videos if you want. I'll just get the share screen up and running for it.
Yeah, sure. If you don't need the audio much on that, we can run that while we're chit chatting too, and kind of have it as a visual bed to the conversation if you want. So you went out there. So it was your friend who's not got a lot to disclose or whatnot. So he didn't share with you how he knew that this was going to be a good spot to find something. Yes? No?
Yeah, there are different areas around Old Mexico that where there are crops, people doing their own, planting their own seeds and so forth. So as they start digging up to do that, then they run into very specific artifacts. So then they start to move forward.
Do you see this?
Yeah, and it's popping up on my side too.
So then it's like, wow, okay, there are things here. So then they start to, to focus those areas where they have run into very specific findings, and then calling people that specialize on that, because actually the purpose of many of these amazing men is bringing this to light and creating their own museums so that people can actually access to all these artifacts.
This is our
You
plan.
know? Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So that is very that is a beautiful thing for them to do, because that's their mission, to bring this information to light onto an extent that everyone benefits from that, because also it's their land, and they have very specific rules that make that quite feasible and possible for them to put those artifacts together in a museum, which is
Gotcha.
supervised.
Okay. So this isn't so the land that this was found on is somewhat of a there's somewhat of a legal agreement for some of the people that you were working with going on, right? Like is it a disclosed area? Like can you say what or at least what region you were in or whatnot? How close can you tell us that this all stuff was?
We can talk about the general location, which is in Tula, near a pyramid, which is talked about as being a connection to Atlantis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for instance, like it is all beginning, like all that capability of these communities creating their own things and being respected for that. So it's it's in starters. So yeah, that's why as Sean was now saying, all these places are owned by the people, and also mostly because these artifacts are not related to any period, any official period of, for instance, what we will call the pre-classic, the classic, or post-classic, Mayan or Toltec or Aztec and so forth. These are way before. That's why they are not even interested in digging into that.
Right.
Some, depending on what authority you go to, if they're connected to a establishment that wants to hold the global narrative, they might be aggressive to you. So do you see this ET?
Yes, I do. Looks like he may have wings on his back.
Yeah.
Yes.
And a few of these we've had, which on the pyramid, they also come with this like mouthpiece looking device, or whatever, like an elephant trunk. So that you might come across. So there's different types of species of grayish type of alien. I already tuned into there's over 4,000. Some will come from common ancestors, but they are vastly different. They go into a lot of genetic engineering and time travel, all kinds of stuff. So they're like whole different species, a lot of these artifacts, even the ones in the same spot, and we've been able to tune into. So we'll go into and pause some of the areas in the Sufi.
Yeah.
It was under roots. We get a machete. We broke through the roots, and it is a bit of a pain digging up the rocky areas.
I can only imagine. Is that so? Was that area like? Were there like foundations or something? Were there any ruins about? I can understand if the ruins were nothing
like
special.
Rock walls. And you'll know this from Connecticut. There's tons of rock walls in Connecticut.
Yeah.
And giant.
Okay, so there were rock walls nearby.
Yes, and also some rocks in the soil as well, and the land creating very specific geometries, and it's a very specific type of rock, at least the one that we saw. And you will see in all these artifacts that they continuously have the DNA helix and the double-stranded DNA They have also Anubis. They have, as you were mentioning, all these Egyptian, what we would call as Egyptian influence. And when you were mentioning about the Ant people, well, we can remember that Mexico extended all the way up to what is known now as Nevada, Arizona, Texas, and so forth.
And New
before
Mexico,
one
let's
of
not forget
Mexico's
New.
presidents sell it.
Right.
Yeah, so, but why I say this is because the influence at that time extended, extended, it was the same culture. There were the same species,
Yeah.
Well, not the same, of course, there were different groups, but there was definitely a connection from that northern part that is connected with the Ant people, and so how they call the Hopis, how the Hopis have named them, and also other civilizations. But the Hopis would receive all this knowledge from these beings that were actually through all this area, from all the way from that part now of Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, all the way down in Chihuahua, Sonora, and the northern part of Mexico, right in the border to United States. We will see a lot of constructions in the caves that even have like a size for small people, and also very rare artifacts.
And can you tell us about this artifact? It's like glow through. It's got an interesting green type of stone to it.
I can't it's only showing like the art on the artifact. What is this artifact itself as a whole too?
Well, it is a piece of what we could know as alabaster. The thing is that it's not pure alabaster. It has a composition of other crystal, of other rock, due to the luminescence that it has.
Yeah.
So we know that in ancient times, to say it somehow, they would merge a lot of crystals and rocks, like the granite with pyrite, with other kind of very specific crystals as superconductors, and even other metals. So the same thing happened with crystals. They would fusion very specific type of crystals, and this powder, because it's like a sort of powder that reflects in the surface of this alabaster template. And so the piece itself doesn't glow until you put UV,
Yeah, we'll show you that video too.
Okay, yeah.
And a lot of the artifacts that we found have both Egyptian hieroglyphs, Sumerian, cuneiform, and unknown ones.
Yeah.
In the little corner seems to be a tree of life. I've seen that symbol before. This guy appears on multiple. It's got like a spirit-like body at the end. Interesting breathing apparatus, and looks like a pine cone kind of maybe finding interaction.
It's remarkable. It looks it looks like a magic circle, right? Triangles within the circle. All this stuff looks like glyph, sigil. Like this all looks like magic to me. It even resembles the tarot, the Wheel of Fortune. It's got almost an echo of that because you've got these two elongated skull type, gray type beings, and they're they're kind of like on it, and there's even the little snake under the. So it's got this very Wheel of Fortune kind of relationship to it. I'm still here. I just had to go blank for a second. All right.
This one has a lot of conjuration tech for communication.
Yeah.
And a lot of purposes for it. So I'd agree. And going into like with the triangle of the center that goes into like Solomon's tech, but like it's probably more ancient. I'll update to another screen.
Yeah. What I can say about this piece is that they function. When you activate them, they're functioning at a holographic field. So that is very important. Even the pyramid at the center is showing that because it's an orb as well. and this the symbol of ether, which is kind of similar, not the same, but this is, you can see that even this orb is spinning. You can see outer circles of it.
Yeah.
So it is vibrating. It is showing the vibration coming from that orb, which is plasma created through a very pyramidal tech. And there are different pyramids that actually, if you light up, those pyramids are creating a very specific pattern. So, for instance, all these artifacts, as Sean was saying, have different purposes and are activated depending on those different purposes in a very specific way. So, these are different combinations for different purposes. One of them is DNA upgrade as well.
Yeah, telephone DNA upgrade. We're able to connect to the artists, like this little guy, which I'll show. I have been tuning into.
Yeah.
There's an artist that saw a representation of the being. They venerated them and probably worshipped them in various ways. And it connects to the signature frequency of the being that was seen. Not allowed to say everything because it actually the higher self of the being doesn't want me to say everything. But the species is on Earth in underground. There's a bit of a thing it's got going on in drama in like where it added DNA to our species and engages in time travel and a bunch of other abilities they have. And they're targeted by negative species, so their species a bit on the low end. But some of them are alive, some of them are dead, some of them are in stasis. And waiting for an event to happen to where they're more able to interact with this planet and the surface population. So yeah, it's some cool stuff to tune into each one of these artifacts that venerates a being and what that connects to. Like this little guy, which we also have here.
Yeah. The craftsmanship on these things it's quite like this isn't like that this was done with like advanced like craft, fine tools. I don't know exactly how hard these stones are.
Yeah, it's
super hard, right? Yeah. So like, cause that's like polished down to be smooth, right? So
yeah, it's smooth, and also due to the erosion that is created by being underground and the different constants of the weather and the soil responding to that weather. They have like that erosion, some pieces have more erosion than others, yet they preserve the main shape, which you can definitely say, and that at some point they were perfectly polished.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's impressive. Some of it reminds me of just the kind of thing where you'd sit there and you say, they didn't have the tools for it back then. Right, just like with ancient Egypt, which
exactly.
Some of these, like this thing I noticed here, has got a little bit of that going on, I think.
Yeah.
So here's this guy. Let's see.
Yeah.
He's got a little smile on his face. Very elongated, different head than this guy. So there's like. And I'm reading their two different species. I'm tuning into this a bit more now.
Actually, I could even say that this is a hybrid, because it already has the constitution of a human body, with his fingers, his 5 fingers and hand. However, it definitely has galactic DNA, so it could come as a hybrid. And it has nose. And it has an elongated skull, sort of the Syrian.
Yeah, there was a lot of Syrian. That was a big thing. And our friend, which we're going to have on our show, he has a bunch of artifacts, and they kept like pointing to like Syria's. And I'm finding a lot from Sirius as well, connection. And they influence a lot of the pyramids here, Sirius A and B. which
Yes.
Sirius B connects to the Anunnaki too, which goes to the cuneiform. So this guy, I'll read a little off for you. This guy glows in UV light, which I'll show you the video. Very powerful. I love this one. Very called to me. And it's, there's positive, negative, neutral gray species that are on majority neutral. Though they have added their genetics to us and they see a lot of value with the Earth, so there's a lot of reasons for them. The Zeta and then the tall gray matri are more of the negative ones that I've seen. And then there's a few other hybrids. Most of them, the negative ones, are enslaved by like the Draco Empire and other things. So there's not much worry for people in interaction with these guys. These ones are very empathic. I'll actually read off the abilities I read on them that you can go through their mystery school. So there's the cool things you can do with the artifacts. This one emits a ton of mental energy. So I've been like increasing my mental faculties and of late. So that's been being good. Also been giving me dreams and showing them visions. I'm interacting with some of the ones that are awake right now. So some of the abilities this guy has are some type of god level body tech, superpower of 5 different things, emotional radio-based telepathy, so heart-based telepathy, longevity, plasma body, teleportation, generate energy that's like in the intestines, a rare type of energy that I don't think has a definition for yet, and manipulation of it. Then there's a really ancient type of energy it connects to that's pre a lot of the connection to source, like prime creator, galaxy, universe, multiverse, ultraverse. Going back before all that type of energy in the gut brain as well. There's a lot of gut brain tech they have. Energy used for like a computer access to the hologram. Then it's also, and I rarely run into anyone that's good at the etheric body, which is powerful. This one, they're good at the etheric creation and manipulation. Then it also has mana tech, so the type of magic for creation and control. And an interesting one that I barely see any has, which is like out of phase, like a storage capacity, so it like could put objects in storage out of phase near it, in that like float around it in a tech. It also has interdimensional resonance travel, which is to locate themselves while elsewhere. It's kind of like bilocation, it's just a little bit different. And then spatial place connection, so it can like open up a gateway between spaces. And yeah, again, it's emitting tons of mental energy, and I'm constantly trading with it for that for things that like support it. Also been tuning into other ones like this one. This one's more probably like more humanized.
Yeah.
It's more.
Okay.
It's probably
it's
earlier.
More recent. Yeah, actually, that those were found in even a less deeper layer of the soil, and those are typical, let's say, a trend that we would see in the post-classic, for the Toltecs.
Okay.
This is an Aztec god, even though it has like feminine features, but it's related to the Huehueteotl. And Huehueteotl is the old father, so this would be the old mother. Okay. It's an ancient woman.
I was about to say it definitely looked like an old woman. But you were like, but you were just saying something about like it was a god but had feminine features, just repeat what you meant by that, so I know exactly what you were saying about it.
Yeah, sure. For instance, I do believe that part of the transition and how we can measure the period in which those civilizations ran into those galactic beings into the galactic community is because the later or the more recent it happened, they started to have already these human features, or the hybrid ones, that even they still hold the records of the galactic DNA, but they are even sharing and conveying the message to the civilization for them not to be adored. The same as the Egyptian ones. It was a mistranslation that they were to be considered as gods. They were the divine nature, the divine essence. And for instance, you would see that the only places that call in the word God, for instance, in the Mayan, the Aztecs, and so forth, is in Teotihuacan, which is the city of the gods, this famous place with the pyramid of the sun and the moon and the temple of Quetzalcoatl. And the way that they would call the pyramids, which is Teocalli, which is the house of God. The information that I have been tuning into is that even some of the pyramids had stargates on the top. Like the kind of the stargates that we get to see in a circular form, and other ones like these doors as portals. I have been in them. In the area of Yucatan, they still preserve the arc and the shaped figure of a doorway. So those were portals. So that's how they would pop up, to say it somehow, through the pyramid, and then that's why they would call them the house of the gods. And another way that the pyramids would be used was as initiation structures, but that one was way more recent. That they would go through the cenotes, these places of water underground that were the superconductor as well for the pyramids, and then they would go all the way up, going through very specific initiations to reach into the 9 layers, which is also connected to what is known as the Xibalba, which is related to Orion as well. So.
Yeah, and I tune into with the object, like without any bias or looking into the mythos or anything. That this is not. This is like was a physical being, deified by probably powerful action, and to where they earned divine feminine energy, and especially having to do with wisdom and intuition. So that's what they're good at. So anyone, I don't condone worshiping objects. I recommend connecting to beings and engaging in commerce in a fair, with boundary way. So if you want to trade for intuition and wisdom, this one is good at that.
So you're saying that you've intuitively picked up that depicts a once living person who kind of got like some sort of major activation, and they kind of like bestowed, like they kind of like entitled them with living god status in the time that was done.
Probably.
Okay, that makes sense. I see. All right.
Even if they're not just about worship energy. Belief energy can power the crap out of a being and their higher self and their source, to where if they're like celebrity status.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say.
Right.
The word God has been put into a very religious connotation. However, if we do an analogy nowadays, it would be like people who rent to serve a cult for an artist, a celebrity, or a politician, and so forth. It's the same.
Yeah. There's an idea I've seen run around that, because a certain land has a certain kind of like psychic influence on the people that live there, and they will end up following in the footsteps, no matter where they were from or whatever. So the troubles that you are seeing across the North American continent are mirrors of things that Native Americans have gone through before in cycles for being out of harmony effectively with, quote, Amaraka, shall we say, right?
Yes.
Okay, when I saw this, I saw two things that in my metaphysical understanding of things are the enemy. I see, because of the legs, I immediately saw Abraxas, and then because of the head, I immediately saw Thoth. And I said, those two guys both suck. But this is incredible. I love this work. Tell me about this one.
Well, this we didn't find it. Actually, this had already been found. They just showed it to us, and there is definitely a pattern going in between. Like we can see, it's just one part of a big piece,
Yeah.
And they just found one of the parts. And we definitely can see the eye of Horus in the chest, the way that the serpent is interacting with that being, which has a skull and a peak as the one of Thoth, as you well said. However, it has the brain, the skull, and the serpent is, like digging its claws. Its fangs.
That is what's interesting. That one of these legs, it coils up and then it's going. It's like it's going for it. Like the head is the Orphic egg, and your legs is the snake going for the Orphic egg, which is wild. And then it seems like it's depicting that these snake legs are also kind of. It looks like there's a gray alien being strangled underneath.
Exactly. Actually, his head, his arms have been taken away from his body, and there are two aliens, not just one. The other one is shown in the part that is not shown in the picture.
Okay.
There are two of them.
Okay.
And both of them are being suppressed by this serpentine force, which is super coiled, as you said, which also again connects with a way that the DNA bonds for very specific purposes of upgrading the DNA by activating dormant DNA. And also the fact that very same force, which is becoming the serpent, like from the bird converting itself into the serpent and then digging its fangs on its own skull, it feels this full transformation of the serpent devouring itself. That Ouroboros process, just a torsion creating the infinite. And for here, of course, there is also this factor comes across in many ancient civilizations. Yet, when it comes to the Mesoamerican one, mainly in Mexico, there is a very interesting interaction in between the serpent and the bird. We can see the flag is like they are fighting one another. However, the way that the Quetzalcoatl consciousness comes comes to life is by merging themselves.
Yes.
So this is also showing that merging,
Yeah,
that's
I can see that, right? Because like the alchemical process is the eagle and the snake. It's the lower brain and the higher brain coming together in the heart center, representing basically that it's still that Orphic egg thing, because sometimes it's depicted as the two of them fighting over an egg. And that's the plumed serpent when they make that merger, which is the dragon. And this is across all sorts of different mythos, Mesoamerica, the Norse as well, the eagle atop of Yggdrasil and the Nidhogg dragon in the underworld. So that's more correlation on ancient symbolic tropes. So that's great.
Yes. Which is funny is that for here in Mexico, for instance, when the eagle and the serpent come together as one, they create the dragon.
Yes.
The feathered dragon, as the Chinese one. So yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, there's a lot of layers to it, both symbology, literal, and magical. I'd say, like symbolic with the body and like coming out of their right foot.
Yeah.
Now there are magical traditions that go into like the difference between the right and the left limbs and foots and like what that can mean, so I
Mm.
can go deeper, and then going to bite, the back of the head or connect. Um, Now this being looks like they're of a noble class, and with what I'm reading of the being, there's if you ever watch that show Moon Knight, the moon god of Egypt uses it's about multiple forms and residual
Yeah.
images, but in the show it goes as a dead avian. So they're
Yeah.
going into
It's
mastery of the spirit world. Uh,
Khonshun, I think
yeah,
was what
Yeah.
was this particular moon deity? Yeah,
Yeah.
or
yeah.
Khonshu,
I'd say
something like that.
this
Yeah, yeah.
right.
It was a
This one's
great
different.
series. I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. Recommend it. Deities incarnating in physical form.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so I'd say this has connection with Syrian bees. This being, they're of a noble class lineage of a species. It looks like they have interaction with the fourth dimension. I don't read they're dead, so they're probably still existing. And then their ability to go into um, the afterlife and be a master of different threats that have come their way and conquering of other races. Um, I also read the energy off it is mostly magic. It seems to be different leveling systems to a type of magic their species is connected to and can initiate it's like attunements and initiation factors to those it approves of. Though you want to be cautious with this one
Right.
because with everyone because there are
Yeah.
probably artifacts that my friend told me about that are haunted and have connection to dark deities, so we'll look out for that,
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
and we're being cautious with these at the moment.
Well, when you
Another
talk
connective
about
observation I just wanted to make because like with this green with the green picture, right, which is like the one behind Yssah right now. I've seen the larger picture because that top left corner there, that's one of the beings, and it's got like tentacles for legs, like four of
yeah,
them or
it's a
so, right?
cephalopod.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, like a squid or an octopus, and that it's just like, okay, here's a gray alien-esque looking being, and then it's got like tentacly legs, and then you got the other one that you show me where the guy is gray alien type of being, and it's got these long snaky legs. I'm like, that's thematic to me. Like I picked up on a theme, and then even this other little guy who kind of looks like salad fingers for all the weirdos on YouTube out there. He kind of looks like a fish man too.
Yes, there is a lot of influence of these beings in all the art, in the art of the ancient artifacts. There are even some of them that show like a a tentacles mustache, you know,
A,
which is another
a,
species
a tentacle
that
must.
all
Davy
coming from
Jones.
the yeah, and they said themselves when it comes from the Mayan, which is the Mayha, they are the beings that come from the water. And
Right, right.
yeah, so I just want to say, just in relation to the other one, you mentioned Honsu and you mentioned Etot. Both of them, or Tehuti, both of them are related to the moon, and both of
Right.
them are like even if you see the part of the midbrain, like the part of the that below the thalamus, it has the shape of Tot. That's midbrain.
And we have a bit of other avian evidence as well. This is the underside of the pyramid we have, which we'll show you. It's a little heavy,
Yeah.
but
Okay, okay.
yeah. So it's got the cuneiform, got a UFO here, Saturn kind of or planetoid with rings, which it's a little wide for Saturn, so maybe it's a different ring planet. And there's
Hmm.
other planetoids. or stars. And then these guys are winged. They got the either mask apparatus or whatever trunk you want to go into, and they're coveting over a sphere of some type, which could be energy source, a sun, or something you do with the object because it's a pyramid. And
Yeah.
that's the
Okay.
underside. And then this, of course, another UFO type looking device. Anything you want to comment on that?
Sure. How I see it, they are pointing out to their home, and it's a huge way to access there. And that thing in the center, when you activate it holographically, it rotates, and that's what they are calling into the sphere. Both of them are, building, harnessing the power to actually access where they come from, because that is a calling for their homeland.
What do you think, Stephen?
You don't have a picture to share on screen for that. You just have a big heavy thing you can't put in front of the camera right now.
No,
Because I think
yeah,
I remember you're talking about the pyramid, right? With the
yeah.
what's
I'm
on the
gonna show
floor.
you that, but like, what do you have anything to say on this end of it?
I have to look more closely at it. I was definitely astounded, seeing the flying saucer type of depictions on top of it, and thinking about that, on certain levels, right? Because we do not ever expect to see that. Like we've like I've even come to expect to see the Greys depicted on things for various reasons. I've seen different stuff from Egypt and other little places peppered here and there. But then I saw basically the UFOs, and I was just like, that's interesting, right? It's just like like this way of seeing things in ufology. It almost feels like it's a phenomenon of the Americas anyway. Right? I get so much more paranormal than science-y about these with myself, like, fae folk, interdimensional cryptids, ant people, and with stuff this old, I think we're looking at illusions of the Sea Peoples Federation, which was kind of like the in-between of Atlantis as I know it. Those are all the big takeaways that I have on this.
Cool. Okay, I'll continue to. Here's the pyramid. Kind of. Yeah. There you go. So, and I'll just show it, but like, so you kind of like know the more elongated skulls and people with the mask and little removable capstone on the pyramid, which is we were really surprised, but. Like it goes more into the connection between past civilizations in Egypt and past Mayan or whatever, the breakaway civilizations of Atlantis after a cataclysm.
It was beautiful to be in Mexico and running into a pyramid, which is very Egypt look like, it's beautiful.
So here's another one that I dug out and Yssah's holding, and it's got a UFO on the back of it, but yeah, this one has like a gray looking with maybe a kind of beard kind of thing going on with it.
All right.
Yeah, actually, that's the tentacles.
Yeah.
Mustache. Yeah. Because they're coming from this upper lips.
You don't.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah. Do you want to at least throw me a link to the you don't have a picture? You took pictures of everything. I think I've seen them on the Facebook page. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
that on the part below, it has a type of engine, like a spacecraft engine, and it has the face of an eagle in the front. And that was made not only of jade, also of another crystal. Again, the fusion of the crystals.
So it's got the Nubis kind of species, a falcon kind of species, an eye, which I'll show you, and then
Okay.
ET-looking face.
I'm sorry.
A
I
beard.
see what you're doing. Okay, that I can see it on Facebook, but I don't see it on. So it's not going over the Zoom. It's just going over the Facebook.
Oh,
That's what's going on. That's why I was confused.
it's not on Zoom?
It's not going over the Zoom, so that's not being seen for my audience.
Oh,
Oh, what?
The
Why?
other stuff was. Everything else was. This one didn't.
It's on our Zooms.
Yes.
Well, you're not sharing the screen right now. Maybe go back to
That's
sharing
weird
the
because-
screen.
It's weird, yeah.
Yeah.
It's sharing screen
was.
for ours.
It is.
Yeah, I'll try to.
It's sharing screen on.
Is
There it goes.
Do you see
Okay.
it now?
Hold
Oh,
on.
what the heck?
Yeah,
sorry
there
about
we go.
that.
There we
I thought
go.
that was going. Sorry. I'll
There
go
you go.
back so your audience can see.
Yeah. Go back, cause
Okay.
because we didn't see any of this footage. Was like right. There's a pyramid
Okay.
with the capstone.
You saw this one?
So we saw that one, and then everything after that was not seen.
huh, interesting.
Very.
Yeah.
Like I just thought you quit the share screen because you were transitioning to the next thing,
Sorry
and
about that.
it's okay. It's all right. Glitchy. It's all right.
Yeah,
That's
we're
why
getting glitches.
that's why Sean was
Yeah.
asking you about the
Okay.
pyramid. What
Right.
was your perception?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
And
just,
you were like,
okay.
I
It
need
just
to
cut
look
it.
at it
So
closer.
the screen
I'll
screen
get that
share.
for you. It is
Yeah.
glitchy right now. There's a lot of stuff interacting with us.
Yeah. Because like the screen share just went down one more
And
time.
then back up.
So see if
Thank you. Yeah, let us know if it ever goes down. Hey,
Yeah,
you see
I
this?
will. Yep. Okay, there it is. Yes. So I see it. It's the disc. It's the two, like very kind of like snake with winged backs kind of figures, right? So I see all this. Yeah. Okay.
You know, it's also like this air of genies. You know, like the
Spirit
body of
form.
the genie. You know.
Yeah.
So-
You think so? Like that could not necessarily be like a like it's more like it's like the plasma kind of bottom because they don't have really like feet because they float around.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yes, and they're showing the communion of that plasma being generated. What I was saying, you know, about the homeland, like a very specific map to their homeland and an activator to reach into that point.
Right.
You know, that's why they are showing like very specific planets and even, you know, like the aggregation, the way that they come together in their own ecliptics.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, so, well, yeah, feel free to comment on these if you want as well, on what you seen with it. Well, mix up. Okay. Yeah, a little glitchy. So,
Yeah. A little glitchy, but everything's going great right now.
okay.
Right. So on the bottom there, that's a UFO on the bottom basically.
Yeah.
That's the bottom of the pyramid.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is the bottom of the one we have, which we'll show you if it stops freezing.
All right.
Okay. Okay. Let me just restart that.
Right. With all the data going through the three sources here, I can imagine, especially if you're on Mexican internet.
Do you see this one?
It's the 1 million peso man. Anyway, yeah. Blow it up a little bit. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, so that's the pyramid we have, which I'll show you in a bit after we go through all these slides. And yeah, the little capstone comes off. It's got a little surprise in it. And yeah, here's the ETs with the face apparatus thing. And same with this. Maybe a different species. This guy, maybe the same. I don't know, but he's got an interesting skull.
The face apparatus, even with the skull, it immediately makes me go to the engineers from the Alien franchise, going into the Geiger territory, and that's no good. But let's not make any terrible assumptions about these dudes. So you said that there's a surprise under the capstone.
Yeah, I'll show you that. I'll bring it out. I'm just gonna get done with these slides so I can zoom in on our thing.
Yeah.
But so Yeah, here's that ET with the beard kind of thing going on, or tentacles. And
Yeah,
on the
that might
underside
be
of
the
this,
face apparatus too, or the face apparatus is that.
No, this one is more like tentacles, like the mustache that I was saying.
Right, right.
More like tentacles. This is another species.
Mm.
And on the bottom is it's what we would say as the engine of a spacecraft, or that part which actually opens to bring in people, like to suck people in through a plasma array.
Okay, so here's an Anubis-like figure, which I'd say is like Canis majoris race,
Okay.
canine
Yes.
people,
Sure,
humanoids, many different layers to them, different offshoots and higher dimensional versions of them, such as Anubis. But this could be any one of those. I've seen multiple visions of them when I've gone into temples of Egypt. So there's a whole bunch of them. Might be Anubis though. Who knows?
Okay.
And then as it spins, I'll show you the others. All right, here's a Horus-like figure. So another kind of bird person.
Mm.
This one's rare. Not many people have found this type of thing.
Yes.
The guys I've talked to said they found a few, and I've seen pictures of those, and might represent Tiamat, but that's his theory.
Interesting.
As
Yeah, it's got like a big headdress, right?
Yeah.
It's yes, and
That's
it's an
an
eye.
Yeah, that's an eye right there.
A big eye as a head.
A big eye as a head. Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
Divination.
Yep.
And here's another ET with one of those chin strap things. I don't know those.
Yeah. It looks like a gray alien pharaoh.
Right.
Yeah. And it's that particular thing in mind where I was saying like, oh yeah, even seen like alien type of stuff, and because I've seen the stuff that shows the gray alien depictions in Egypt. I can't recall it off the top of my head to find it, but it's been known to go around. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that they are now releasing very specific artifacts that have been found. Of course, they are not the first ones. They had been uncovering a lot of ET artifacts from the very first moment. However, apparently, the latest ones the ones that they have recently found, they are now opening them to the public and showing that the galactic influence that they have as Libyans.
Yeah, so there's breaking through. There's some that are still holding over a dying age, but like our guy tried to bring them to the museum, and they said they'd never display them. But yeah, then he worked with more others. So some don't want to bring it out at all. So people have to push it.
Yeah. Well, I think they need to they need to get a chance to be analyzed and scrutinized. People like getting the dating on it and all those little details, right? Because that's the fair side of skepticism.
A few friends. Can you turn up the volume a bit? Yeah, actually, I think you can play it without the volume. Yeah, there are a lot of. I have a few friends that are scientists and that have a lot of artifacts that they have brought them for research. Do carbon dating and so forth, in the material in which they are made of and so forth. So, yeah, there is a lot that just a few years ago we wouldn't be capable, to put this information out, due to respect of everyone involved,
Yeah.
Now from the very space of respect, the breaches are now connecting in between what is found and what is shown, because that before there was an abysm in between both of them.
We read there's a lot of these artifacts in specific places, and so like, why would they do that? Why would they be buried or in tombs or whatever? And it's like kind of giving birth to or the spirit. It's like when a spirit comes in and incarnates, and they choose their parents. If you're approved, you'll find the artifact. If they're not approved, you may never find one. And then the ways to earn that, and then the whole earth shifts around to what is comes out and is brought to the world, and it brings its peace. It wants to do things. It has an agenda, goals, and a lot of it is towards evolving us towards a greater class civilization.
Yeah, for instance, the obelisk that I did not say about it. The obelisks, you can ask yourself why there are no obelisks in Mexico, for instance, and they had like artifacts, like obelisks artifacts, not just one, several of them. We have one. I found one, the one that Sean was showing, and they were different types of obelisks here. And in the meantime, as we were saying, that these are classic pieces.
Right. I mean, like, we could have been doing very different things, or the people that were here could have been doing, like, my mind immediately went to the idea of the totem, like the totem pole, right? So maybe, like, you're looking for an obelisk, but what you're really doing is you're looking for the same kind of tech, right? Exactly. So a totem pole could serve the same energetic purpose that the obelisk does.
One of them here was the Chac Mole. It wouldn't have the proportions of an obelisk being so high, but the Chac Mole would hold like very specific artifacts. I can show it. Well, there is not a picture, but it's a very famous sculpture here in Mexico, and it was not only a levity artifact. It would really bring, due to the material it was made of originally, it would bring the electric current, and then would expand as the obelisks do through the molecular structure of the water, very specific imprints for very specific purposes.
So this figure, couple empowerment, evolution, the DNA. Brings back like you're drinking in a new self. Ritual cup. Nice.
Yeah. So some of these objects will do different things, like bring in the thing. Here's the other thing. You want to be very sacred and ceremonial with the land and get the spirits of the objects, etc., to like you, as part of also treasure finding magic. And, so, like, ways for us to amplify that, we did it quite a bit. When we went, the guy, they said he started to cry that they found more objects than they ever had in one day. And we only got like 3 hours to do it because we showed up late. So we,
it was a huge pull, it was a huge pull. The place was waiting for that very specific alchemy to happen, us being there, our friend from the United States, the people, the natives that are there. It was a beautiful alchemy, and each one of us offered a very specific magic that enabled for this to happen.
And part of my mind is actually thinking of something right now, because you're talking about how, like, this museum is just like, oh, we'll never display it, and then I'm remembering, like, I don't remember exactly which year it was over the last 8 years. It was sometime in the last 8 years where the Mexican government brought out those 2 damn mummies that were freaking fake, like paper mache, like. Okay, so you'll like if somebody's punking you guys, they sure put a fucking pretty penny into carving this shit. Like, look at that. Who punks you on stuff this aged and cut and just like these are the things that are just like this would have sold if you put this in the Mexican freaking government and said, yo, look, make an announcement. You found artifacts of a thing, right? But hey.
Yeah, but like there are many interests, and the good thing is that things are coming to light. Look, this is the guy with the bird, with the tentacle bird.
Yeah, he's got the
Beard.
mermaid tail.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
possible
Yeah, I
mermaid
see.
or the
I
mer
see
people.
this, right?
Yeah, it reminds me of the Apkalu, of Noah,
Yeah.
the Apkalu, the seven sages, the seven wise people of Enki,
Uh-huh.
that were have fish.
Yeah. Dagon, the Sumerians. What the first? What was that first avatar of Vishnu? Was like the fish man, right? And one of my guys on my channel had mentioned that because you've got these aliens, they got the wings and whatnot, they're buggish looking. He was mentioning that there's a resemblance to the Quarren, who were the engineers in the Star Wars prequels that built the Death Star. So that was an interesting catch that he noticed.
Yeah.
And here's a few more ET-looking guy with a staff. He also had a crystal skull. That was pretty powerful.
Yes.
Yeah, the same kind of eye on this one as that one that's just a little bit back that was like more of a full skeleton with a big head.
Yeah, and he's got the same type of people with the same type of clothing.
Yeah.
He has some auras there, actually.
Yeah. And there's like a winged, that almost looks like a Sumerian wing kind of design, like the way they do their winged disc design. Just above that eye.
Here's that handbag-looking thing you'll see in the Anunnaki statues.
The handbag, my gosh, yeah.
Another guy there, another handbag.
Yep.
Yeah.
See, there's that Anubis one. Horus-looking one.
And when I say like even the word God is dog backwards.
Yeah.
Dog as Cain major, and so forth. Oh, that's the bottom of the.
The bottom of the one with the beard guy.
Yes.
And it looks like it's got a compass needle too.
Yes.
With the UFO aspect of it.
Yeah, that's like a code that a friend of mine who's also a guardian keeper. Well, but he from Teotihuacan. He has contact with ETs, with ET races, and they transmit a code with precisely something very similar than the other artifact. And they were telling him that is the tech. It represents the tech that they use for some of their spaceships.
I wasn't too certain until I had a closer look at this one just now. I mean, like honestly, some of these little triangle liney marks here that. Like, I believe cuneiform looks exactly like that.
Yeah, for sure.
So, like, the question is, does that say something? That could be fucking language on that. We need a cuneiform translation. Because people know how to read it.
Yes.
Agree. Come on our show if you do.
Yeah. How I see it, Stephen, and one of the purposes that I will be sharing also in one of the conferences that I will be giving now, is that when you capture the essence of how they are holographically pulsing, vibrating, then you get to see that some of them only activate through very specific resonance, and the word, you can give life to those symbols through your breath of life. And then this will not only be a piece of rock, a handbag. It will be it will open and connect actually with even black holes as the handbags do.
This one's good with better than Gucci. So
Yeah.
it's got a little surprise in it. I'm reading it's not really wanting me to tell people what is in it,
Okay.
but there's a lot of cool things with these handbags I've read. I even did a show on it once. I went into the possibilities of what advanced ET tech would do with bags, including pocket dimension tech, like a bag of holding, where it's
Yeah.
bigger than on the inside than the outside, where you can store large amounts of things. So
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
there's a lot going into these handbag techs. It
A
also
lot.
it's like Fantastic Beasts, where to find them. He has a suitcase that just has a whole world of creatures in it.
Yeah, and if you put into consideration like the handbag pocket and black hole, which is also the shape of the, that arc, it's the event horizon, and when you dive your hand into a magic bag, it's like a black hole. You don't know what might come from it or where it will lead you to,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's that level of tech.
Yeah, this is a powerful one. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, here's the back of the skull, which looks like it has like a Anubis or anteater kind of looking creature, like right here.
Yeah.
I
Right.
see that. Yeah. Yeah.
And a Horus
Mm.
looking figure there
Yeah.
too,
Mm.
Yeah.
and some more UFO type things and some hieroglyphics.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot. Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot going on there, and it's there's definitely a fair amount of like magic kind of being implied. In the way it's all inscribed. And this is not a crystal skull. This is stone, right?
No, it's
No, it's
crystal.
crystal.
Oh, it
You
is
can
crystal. Is it quartz?
I don't know.
It's in between, like it's a sort of alabaster, but a
Okay.
very clear one.
Okay. Okay.
Or yeah, definitely a type of quartz.
Hmm.
And this is the symbol for like food and then the nourishment.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. It's even possible that this is kind of like almost like with these guys that got the what, like if they're not like an ether thing or a tentacle or a snaky or a tentacly thing, it's, well, actually snaky I was going to say in the sense of the naga. It makes me think of the naga a little bit too.
Yes.
Here's another really nice one. I don't think I can zoom in,
Gosh,
unfortunately.
yeah.
But
This is the one I saw with the big UFO, right?
here's the
Yeah.
UFO.
And the tree of
Oh,
life.
can you
Yeah, this
tilt
one's
it?
The tree of corn.
Is there?
yeah, this is
Can you?
obsidian stone. This is a little obsidian mirror, the corn, tree of life thing.
Can you give it a
Headdress.
90-degree counterclockwise? Like, is it possible to flip that over? Just because to see it straight, I got to go like that.
Boy, I don't know.
I mean, if somebody's watching this on their phone, they could do it on their phone.
I don't have it
Yeah.
in my.
Yeah, I would do that, but I don't know if I have it.
All right.
Sorry about
Yeah.
that. But here's the DNA, which
Yeah.
is great. Anubis-like figure. ET, the same kind of ET as this guy, but with a headdress. So he's probably
Right.
some type of royalty. And then the spirit body coming out. This guy's a little octopus-looking guy. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is different types of this species.
And then you've got this it looks like 5 corn stalks or pine
Exactly.
cones
Exactly.
coming out of the central trunk of a plant.
Exactly.
I
Because
think
it
I've
also
seen that in
represents
Egypt.
the tree of life. The tree of life for the Mayan and for the aspect that connects all the way to Xibalba. Xibalba being the nebula of Orion, Orion's nebula.
Okay.
So because it's showing how the tree of life leads you from the roots all the way to that black hole, which is represented with that black obsidian, and then crossing that black hole and accessing all the way to Orion's nebula, Xibalba.
Okay. Yeah. It's interesting. I think I've seen something that looks like that in Egyptian depictions with the 5 maybe Maybe or met like because that's the wild thing. It's just like all of these are in this uncanny valley of Egypt, Mesopotamia, Mesoamerican aesthetic, and that's what makes them so fascinating to look at. If you go back to
Yes.
the other one real quick, the last
Sure.
one you were at first for yeah. Did you say like do you know what's going on? There's a little guy squatting underneath Anubis on the other side of the helix from these other dudes.
Yes. This is a common posture that in which they would show, for instance, the beings in the halls of Amendi. It's a very common posture.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that represents, as how I read it, they're talking about levels,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is showing a very specific level in which we see the double-stranded DNA, which is already showing that
Yeah.
modification. And the other, I don't know if you have seen ever the papyrus of the Osiris trial in the halls of Amendi. There are 42 beings in that position, so they're
Okay.
showing 42 levels of mastery in relation
Okay.
to.
And then the last thing I was just going to say, the actual border of it has markings too, and there's some interesting things that can be commented on because especially because I see them repeating on each side, it seems, and there's this little action going on, and we got the DNA heal. I think that's sperm. I think you're looking at spermazoa right there, right? And then you've got this other thing that's very interesting, just a little bit on the other side, where it's got the U going up, the U going down, and then the pole going through the middle of it. And that makes, like, I almost want to say it's like the Squatter Man, which all sorts of theories about the Squatter Man.
And you will actually see in the bottom, in the upper corner to the right, a planet with rings. Again, if we could see this type of Saturn, and there is a being coming from there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. He's coming from it. He's tethered to it by, like, the etheric end of him there. Over here. Yeah.
Spirit travel.
Yeah, and it's showing, and it's touching as well the spacecraft. So.
Yeah. So is this guy, and like this guy, I'm not. He might not be clothed. This one's clothed but standing up, but with wings. This one has wings but no feet. Maybe spirit body. And then this one's standing but also has wings. Nubis. And they're all interacting with the DNA, so they probably all added a chess move to it. Okay. When I was reading the power of this object, it was mostly psychic energy and psychic functioning, and like could interact with like a holographic computer that you could initiate things, and then upgrades and evolution.
Yeah,
it seems to be involved.
The black spot in the center of the tree thing that splits off into the 5, is that a hole in this plate?
Yeah, it's obsidian mirror.
It's obsidian. And as far as I'm concerned, it's representing the black hole in the center of the earth, connecting the tree of life, the earth, and beyond it.
Okay. Also use scrying, meeting other versions of yourself, communication, a lot of magic.
All right, cool.
Yeah, you can open different portals through. They use the obsidian mirror to open portals and also to do premonition quests and many more things.
Yeah. Obsidian's good for scry. Yeah.
There's that ET guy with the chin piece, and then the third eye just as a head.
And the handbag.
Well, we see that in every skull, in most of the images in the face, they have the third eye on the top. So for me, the 4 faces of the obelisks are showing that, like, let's say the 4 worlds or the 4 reigns. There are many ways to actually activate those 4. I don't know if any of you have seen a depiction of the Mayan that they use the world as a hologram, and then they divide it in four quadrants. And this is for me what it's showing, empowering each one of the four.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. Okay, there's a size. There's an idea of the size there. Got it. All right. The screen capture just came off.
Yeah,
Yep.
got rid of it. So I'm
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
look for the next pictures and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Wait, keep going. See if I can find
Yes, so just by tuning into seeing these artifacts, you're already receiving upgrades. It's impressive the amount of energy that they are emitting. For instance, it took us like 3 days to ground because we were not in the body,
it.
We were doing
Hmm.
so many things, and they were like
Yeah.
really wanting to communicate with us, even the ones
Yeah.
that, like stayed somewhere
Yeah.
else. Because all these pieces have a very specific purpose. So we can activate them by distance, just by seeing the image, activating them within us. And of course, the interpretation that each one will give to them is unique. And in some things we will share, what we see in that artifact. And what we do all agree is that they are very powerful. And just by seeing them, they're emitting like big amounts of energy.
Yeah, they'll upgrade human design and upgrade us consciously as a species as more of them come out and have caretakers help them expand safely.
Mm.
So I think they're very important, and the more people connect with them as a network, the positive ones, the bigger chance of evolution. So I'll bring out the big, we can start showing the little statues and then the pyramid if you want.
Yeah. Let's go through and you showed for a second before it went off. It was like it looked like it's like a ceremonial uh, tool of some sort, like perhaps a blade. I wasn't not 100% sure. I have to get a better look
Yeah,
at it.
yeah, it had a scooping part at the end of it, so it could be
Right.
possibly used in ceremony like that.
Yeah. Maybe maybe that's how they got the heart out. Which of course would
Well,
have been
that
done later.
that was used for other things. That had not blood on it. Actually, it was
Right.
quite an energetic device to open portals and connect with very specific, um, let's say, frequencies of plasma and activate them, in the reality, like manifesting. Bum, 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 bum.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm.
And also for DNA upgrade, because you could see again the DNA double strand, so
Yeah.
perhaps they would be doing at some point some operations with energetic operations. All the devices that I have found so far, all the artifacts, which they have been a considerable amount, none of them have blood. None of them have blood. I have gone to the ancient sites and you can find traces of blood in the rock, yet the artifacts, none of them. None of them. So, yeah.
So yeah, again, these guys, show them to you. This one, I'm still tuning into it, but it's got the longevity tech and spatial connection, so interdimensional travel. And here's another guy. I'm still tuning into this one, see what it has, but it's got a little pyramid eye kind of thing at the center of it.
Mm,
Meditating, it looks like a ceremonial kind of athame to it.
mm.
And actually, if you do energetically the symbol that it has on the top, that's one of the main purposes of this one.
Might not show up on the green screen. And
Oh,
then we
yeah,
also have a
there.
portal that we got with it, but it's wanting to be left out until later. It's
Yeah.
heavy. But this came with it, this obelisk. So it has the upside down triangle.
Hmm.
This is used in alchemy, the spirit body coming from a planet. The reeds, a sun shining, nourishment, Probably is the
Yeah, it looks like there's
symbology.
a plant growing off the top or whatnot. Yeah.
That,
Yep.
and then what I'd assume a pyramid.
This is a common hieroglyph in Egypt.
It's a
That the
what?
other one's not.
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
Which
and
one's
then this
a
one has.
hieroglyph?
What'd you say?
Well, I was saying which one is a hieroglyph on the other side? Because I was about to make a comment
This
on
one. This one.
that one there, right? Well, yeah, because I'm looking at that, and funny enough, the first thing I'm fucking seeing is runes. I'm seeing Yssah and Uruj, right? Which would be which are two guys.
And some
Yep.
pyramids, like in Bosnia, have the
Yeah.
fulfic runes,
Yeah.
and that they've spelled out Stargate, which is interesting.
Yes. Yes.
And then also I'm not going to ignore nor make any insinuations because of the spiral triangle on the bottom. I will not make that.
I know.
There's no chance in hell that it's associated to what we know it's associated with, but it's important to note all the things that we see.
We're not on the.
Yeah. And once again, so once again here I see we've got their planet, their ringed planet.
Another winged gray-looking figure, and it might be a ring planet. So that connects to a portal-looking device. I'll get the pyramid.
Yeah, as Sean was saying, some of the pieces are really delicate, even to become on screen, because they activate just by looking at them. They are already moving through the field, through the quantum. So it's a process.
Gotcha. Okay, so all right. So this is the pyramid that in your picture has the capstone, and you took the capstone off, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So it's got these rings in it.
And rings. Oh, what it? That's not gold, is it? It can't be gold. Is it metal?
It might be copper or orichalcum, which is that Atlantis stone that nobody knows how to make.
Yeah.
We are going to test it eventually.
Ooh, sounds exciting. All
but
right.
Copper,
yeah. So they're not. They have little knocks on them. They're not just smooth around. They have little knocks on them, right?
Yeah, it's got a little. God, the zoom is not that great, but it's got a little pyramid with an eye at the top, reeds, and some wings and other stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, and an eye at the bottom, and I guess I'll have to figure out how to zoom in, and I'll show people pictures.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have these little slots.
I mean, that's just
my impression. Yeah, these little slots here. So this might be the Lord of the Rings.
This is the MacGuffin of every science fiction movie right here. Those rings are going to unlock something freaking cool, and the world's going to need to get saved. I just know
this little bottom part,
yeah,
which has the light of the sun and the eye.
Yeah,
and
right.
Right there.
But let's look like as I'm just looking at this already as it is, and we got like the one dude sitting down, we got the one dude underneath holding him up. And that's such an Egyptian pose. He's doing the whole, this is similar to who's the one who holds up Nut in Egypt? Shu. So it looks like Shu holding up Nut, kind of.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And who is he holding? It has another
person power
that has actually the was, which represents the capability of master the serpentine force, the snake. And here we have another snake, which represents the conductive flow of energy. The eye, which is mastering actually also the energy coming from the brain and the midbrain into the eye of God. And then here we have the vessel upside down, which represents bringing all that wisdom into the soil, into the earth. Here we have the Aten, which is the orb. And here we have, it's like showing that there is a very specific boundary in between that which is being breathed through the mind and that which lies beyond, you know?
And
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
turn around.
I just find it fascinating how he's sitting in this little chair, right? And that these guys have legs. These particular guys have legs. I almost wanted to say, is this like a nerd playing World of Warcraft? He looks like me,
He's
sitting at a computer. He looks like he's sitting at a computer, right?
Yeah, so here's the other side of it. Let's see if I can.
Right. Okay.
And again, yeah, there's these two little slots for the rings.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you guys think of that? The third eye, this is the eye of Horus, not the eye of Ra, and the way it's facing. So from Mexico.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on all over this. All these these little triangular semi-sphere markers. It's just like this has got to be a hieroglyphic or this has got to be some sort of calligraphy. This has to be some sort of writing to put it all together. On the left, that looks like is that a crooked staff there on the left is what it looks like, and then it's got like these two dashes going behind it.
Yeah, I think so. So looks like a magic spell of some type. Yeah, and the cool thing is with this, it's heavy as fuck, and it has holes in it that look like it leads to a little chamber in it, but I don't really want to break it open. So
maybe get an X-ray going. Can you get me a little bit closer on the bottom left-hand side where it's scuffed? There's got to be something that's been. Is that faded? Is that unfortunately faded?
It's dirt.
You still got some cleaning to do to it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because it looks like there's something going on in that corner. Oh, you're killing me. I want you to clean it right now.
We'll get it.
All right.
We wanted to clean it spiritually before we dusted it off.
I feel you. There might be an alien egg in there. You're gonna infect us all.
It might be. Might wake up and.
Yeah. All right. Well. All right. So what's on the other side? Because what is that? Two sides we've looked at now.
There's something inside actually.
Okay. So here's these three guys again.
Well, this is the other side.
Another Trinity. Yeah. We have the death, which, we know it's not death, but it's the mummy.
Right.
We have the one alive, and we have the one in a smaller representation. So we have the three stages of what we could consider life and the Trinity for everything, for even the fundamental structure of, or the composition of the molecule,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And on the bottom is the one that you saw that Sean was asking to you. Okay. What did you think about that?
Yeah. There's the UFO and the spirit.
I'm looking at the guy who's standing, and he's got his hand over the one on the left, and it almost looks like he's holding a pine cone.
Yep, pine cone.
Oh, boy. Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
And you see these elongations of the chin. Like, for instance, here we see it's apart, it's attached. Here is a device. So here the one that is mummified, which is cryogenesis at that moment, a form of cryogenesis. This elongation was to enhance the energy radiating from this point of the skull.
Mm. And the energy on this is wanting to stay secret until it's strong enough, but it has the capacity and a spirit in it that can expand out to beyond the universe. So into itself, it's like its own micro pyramid, but has a macro pyramid energy. So, and then rings with it. What does that mean? Like, are we gonna get married to aliens? Who knows? We'll see.
That would be funny if that was like wedding, like this was used in a wedding ceremony. The space
Yeah.
pope
Well,
gets you
actually,
married. This is how you
these
got
do
married.
represent the communion of two beings using this energetic force for something which is not the marriage as we know. And that is shown in the bottom of the pyramid, actually. That's
I
where
was
they
gonna
are
ask
holding
about
together the plasma orb.
Yeah, I was about to ask if there was anything on the bottom of it. Now, did we see the last side? Did we see
I'll
all
bring
four?
that picture up so you can look at it again.
Yeah, sure.
Let's get that.
See?
Your pictures. No. Okay, well, let me just go back to that. You keep talking.
Okay.
as I find-
I was my buddy was trying to contact me saying something about the frame is zoomed in and can't see. Oh, I think he's talking about me on my. Oh, wait. Can we not see you? Hold on a second.
Yeah, if you need us to show anything specifically, we can do that.
No. I think it's a problem on my end where. Oh my gosh, I see now. I see. Dear God, nobody's because it's on my end. I'm not even seeing things. I have to. Let me Everything got a little bit resized in my software. So, gosh,
Okay,
I hope not
if you
too
need
much
to-
got cut off. Ugh. All right.
You can re-upload from our.
Yeah.
And I gotta go soon because I gotta do another show.
Sure. Yeah. I think I heard you said you had another show to do. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry for anybody who all this stuff got cut off. Let's see.
We'll fix it.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're just gonna read the comments real quick while you're doing that. And yeah, Yssah is a twin. Yeah, they like your iguana.
Yep.
Hey everybody, thanks for coming. Yeah, octopus beings.
Glad he moved a little bit. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So sorry about that on my guys for people tuning in on my channel. Because when the things move, when Zoom moves the thing, it resizes things. Plus, I'm like. I was moving the screen myself, changing the size of the screen. So my apologies. Gotcha. Okay, so did we see all four of the faces of it? And did we see the bottom yet, or?
Oh yeah. And if you wanted to re-see the other side, which I showed in the picture.
Okay. All right. Wait. Yeah. No, I don't. Yeah, I don't think I saw this one yet.
Crap on my hand. There's that other side.
Okay, that's it. Okay, so here he is. He's facing you head on. So that bolt is that just showing like his elongated skull going back? Is that what I'm looking at the top of his head?
I think so.
Okay.
It might be two different species because
Okay.
I haven't seen it like that on other places, but it might be the same.
Okay. Is he holding something in his hands, or is his hands just being held up?
I think it's doing that finger pose that Jesus does. But
okay.
Yeah. And this is the only being that has been represented looking to the front. We see sculptures of them like this, but when it comes to this kind of stories shown as in hieroglyph mode, they are always looking to the side. So this is the only one looking to the front.
Yeah, it's wild that it looks just like that. Yeah. Okay. Very cool. Yeah. Right. And there's you have a picture of what's on the bottom. You took a picture of the bottom.
Yeah. It'll be you looked at it in the video, so it's the one with the UFO and like the spirit ones on them with.
That's the bottom of that. Oh, got it. Okay, so we've seen it. Great. All right, so you said you guys got to go pretty soon. Have you showed off all of your toys?
At the moment, we'll bring out more toys later.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I think there's that other really long one that you flashed for a second, but we didn't talk about it. So, we'll have to do a part 2.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So then I think that we are good here. Let me just double check my chat real quick. Chat's been a little bit busy, which is great. I'm not too used to that. Let's see. You old fogey. Yeah, people making fun of me for screwing up. Let's see. Plays. What does that? I thought I saw one good question I wanted to repeat to you guys. Azure Hunter. Well, foods. I can't. All right. I think everything's good. Everybody just seems to be pretty happy and kind of just going at it. Anyway. Yeah, this has been amazing, Sean and Yssah. Awesome work doing what you're doing down there. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll keep you informed on if we make more discoveries and
also the trip to Mexico, so that you can come and join us.
Yep. I'll see how that goes. I gotta handle a bunch of things. Then I have to go through the process of getting a new passport because my passport expired.
Well, it will be worth it.
Yeah. I know it will. I got a mound of stuff over my head, and I need more work. That's all it really boils down to. So,
everyone out there, enjoy your upgrades. Steven, how do people get a hold of you?
All right. Yes, for all you guys listening on Sean and Yssah's end, I am Zerilath Immortal on YouTube. To get a hold of me, I am available on the various social medias like Instagram is Zerilath and Facebook is Zerilath Immortal. And I got an email to contact me in private correspondence as well, zerilath@yahoo.com. And also make sure you check out tomorrow night, same time. I'm going to have my friend Dustin on. He is a Box Saga language guy, for those who've been following my Box Saga stuff. And Sean, on Wednesday, if you didn't see it there, I'm going to have Tet de Jour back on my channel. Ooh. And you still need to get a hold of him because you're both living in Mexico and you should be doing cool shaman shit together.
that kind of
yes.
Yssah, how do people reach?
All right.
Well, omnivision.hunu at outlook.com is the email that you can get in touch with me directly. My website, www.hunuch/acna.com. And online courses based on all these kind of tech, plasma tech, DNA upgrade, time travel, source code translation, your geometrical body and how to use it to manifest from the holographic field. And the two conferences in Sedona, Rising of the Guardians. If you haven't gotten your tickets yet, it's time for you to get them and join us. That will be awesome, an awesome event. And also Full Disclosure Now conference in July in Florida. We will also be there as speakers. So, get your ticket.
And what are you going to be, do you want to share any information?
Yeah.
Are you going to be doing conferences?
Yeah, sure. I will be talking about time travel and plasma tech, how to use your DNA and how does DNA is connected to time travel and the space-time fabric and how to use it. That's on the conference that I'm going to give. The workshop that I'm going to facilitate will be on something related to the biology, your DNA, and how to access to the encoding, the primordial encoding of very specific ancient sites through your DNA and activate your DNA, and many, many, many more things through the DNA and also this ET tech.
And since it's having to do with the Rise of the Guardians, I decided, hey, I'll just teach people a bunch of stuff in a workshop on how to become guardians of the planets, expanding their ability to protect, become aware, and observe things, and then get into the Earth game on a greater level that never is boring, and it's always fun for me. And anything else you want to name before I go?
No, it's okay. Soon my first book in English will be released, so I will be talking about that. And thank you Thank you, Zerilath.
Yeah.
I'm Sean Bond, Sonic League founder, Sonic League YouTube, right there, Sonic League, and sonicleague.com if you want to contact me for a session. It's the fastest way to reach me. Clearing, healing, deep possession from a distance, unlock your dormant abilities, go into your DNA and past lives and other things. And you can, if you're interested in our Egypt trips, Mexico trip. We did Egypt trip.
Yeah.
Mexico will maybe in the future. And Mexico trip is next. A bunch of places of power, possibly things with artifacts, as well as places of power that will unlock your superhuman abilities, healing, love, positive emotions, force, telekinesis, all that. And yeah, you can contact us, Trip Inquiry, like mine is sonicleague@gmail.com or hers. And if you're interested in going, there's a bunch of soul family waiting to meet you, and powerful, life-changing events out of this world, and once-in-a-lifetime opportunities that will present you with the workshop shop. So look forward to that. So hit us up for that. And we're also on Facebook, Instagram, X, and other places. So yeah, and then if you want to see more shows like this and this work with Steven, show some love in the comments. Show Steven some love. Yeah. Show him some love. Smash that like. Subscribe to all our channels. Share this with 5 friends or people you want to blow their minds with ET artifacts. Destroy the matrix around their ego. That is a great show to show them to. So see you guys out there. Any words of wisdom you want to leave the audience before we go?
Who?
Anyone of the 5 of us. Yeah. Okay, I'll go. Yeah, there are treasures hidden within you and around you. As you shift your reality and grow, they will come out as they see you as worthy of holding up the mantle place and bringing them out. And it's like birthing and choosing your parents. So there's artifacts like this all around the planet waiting to be uncovered.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I just want to say that for every piece that we get to discover, there is an activation that is going backstage. And the more that we allow that energy to not come from another source, yet to outload, come from within, the more that we acknowledge that, the more that these beautiful pieces are fulfilling their purpose, because this is just a reflection of what is within. So when we remember that and embody that, which we choose, then we are being that embodiment of the unified consciousness of the entangled universe in its maximum and most evolved expression of itself. So,
anything you wanted to say, Stephen, before we wrap it up?
Ooh, this is we go through very interesting paradigm shifts when discoveries like these emerge, right? And people won't be able to tell the real effect that it has right away until the conversation, the exposure of the thing evolves and changes the conversation. So keep your awareness to these things up, and keep the conversation going about them.
Thanks everyone out there. See ya, love ya. Please spread this around. Help shift the planet. So I'll wake up to out of this matrix spell and stuff, and then bring our true histories back.